that too.
Is it too early to ask where you have Magic placed in Nas's catalog?
I'm gonna give you his 9 best albums, which no rapper ever can touch. That's Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, The Lost Tapes, King's Disease 1, King's Disease 2, Life is Good, Magic, Godson. He's made 9 great albums. I would put, I mean, Mike, you're right, Magic. I mean, okay, so Mike, let's have the conversation right quick. Illmatic, It Was Written, and Stillmatic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is this better? And you're saying it's better than KD2 because you know the conversation for us about KD2 was KD2 versus the Lost Tapes. And if I'm not mistaken, KD2 and Lost Tapes either washed or KD2 took it. So if you're saying it's better than KD2, aren't we kind of saying that it's better than the Lost Tapes? Because we know it's better than
I
Godson.
think it is.
Okay, so if we're saying that, this is his fourth best project, Mike. So think about that. If we're saying that Magic is his fourth best project, because it would go Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, Magic, Lost Tapes or KD2, and then after that, Godson, right?
Are you sure it's better than Stillmatic? Or, Stillmatic got the home runs.
Mike,
I mean, are you
Mike,
sure that Stillmatic's better than Magic? Excuse me.
blood of a slave, heart of a king, Mike. Say
And you know
less.
what? I think the thing is, man, I just really like the way he's rapping on
You
Magic.
like the way he's rapping on this album, Mike. This is a better end-to-end player, but it's not as long. Mike, we can have the conversation. Let's see how it balances itself out. But this is a top five Nas album, yeah.
All right, well, this is the question I wanted to ask because
Mike, think
I
about
got
this
I got
shit.
a
Mike,
whole list of stuff here, right? I
okay,
know that we said
run it.
our cutoff for 2021 had to be like the end of November. Is this album eligible for album of the year consideration dropping so late in the year?
I mean, if you really, Mike, if we want to be, how about this? We can kind of do what we want because we don't belong to anybody. That's why they keep watching us and biting us, and I'm getting sick of this shit. But um, let's say, I mean, realistically, Mike, if we're being objective, we should make the cutoff date 12/3, which means Big Boy's album, Rick Ross's album, the Currency album that actually dropped the same day as the Nas album. Those 4 projects technically should probably be counted towards next year if we're going to be objective about it. But if we just kind of want to run it, that's how we ran it last year. That's why I'm saying if we want to be consistent, how we ran it last year is we cut it off after the first set of album releases in December. And so if we're being consistent, what this is Nas making the album of the year for next year very early on because I doubt somebody gonna make something better than this shit.
Well, I
But
mean, KD
stranger things
three
have
is
happened.
coming, so
That's what I'm saying, Mike. So really what we have is we have the guy who just made album of the year starting off the new calendar rap year by starting off with the album of the year. Yeah, back to back.
I mean, people say,
Okay.
well, Courtney Rose says it should do as a
Actually,
year.
Mike, this is MJ.
The
Mike, this is a three-peat. This is KD1, KD2, and Magic. Mike, three-peat.
Listen, man. I don't know, man. I'm good either way. We didn't see this coming. It was, I mean, the run that Nas is on right now is literally unprecedented. I didn't
It's
think
the
that.
best run of his career, Mike. I thought he was the greatest MC of all time before this run. He's having his best run. He's never made 3 consecutive great projects.
No, I mean,
This is the first time.
and like I said, Magic came out of nowhere. This is like literally.
This on
If
some rap
this
shit,
is
Mike.
for me, this is like if Outkast would have dropped an album that sounded like ATLians, like right now.
I mean, like I said, Mike, this is on some like Illmatic meets Lost tapes type stuff.
It
He's like on
is.
his rap shit.
It is. He sound. If you would have told me that these songs were old and he put them out, I would have believed that. You know what I
No,
mean?
Mike,
And
sounds
the
like
fact that these lyrics are so up to date. I mean, Young Dolph died, was murdered, excuse me, last month. So these lyrics are fresh.
they are. What he say,
People
Mike?
are wondering why Magic can't be in consideration for 2021. It did
I
drop in
said, no, 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 no.
2021.
I didn't say we couldn't. I said if we're being objective and being consistent with how we ran it last year, which means if we were to consider it album of the year, we would be changing the way that we formatted things the previous year.
Well,
I also
this is
started off by saying we have the ability to do that because we don't belong to anybody.
well,
So,
this is the
like,
thing,
just
and
hear me clearly.
this is the problem that we've run into before, right? The problem is when people drop an album this late in the year, it doesn't have the time to marinate like albums that were dropped in June or in March. because you can really start seeing the strength in the album when you see that over the months. You're like, oh yeah, this still goes. Yeah,
So
this
this is
isn't
what
just a heat of the moment thing. That's the only reason why we have trepidation about including albums that come so late in the year in album of the year consideration, because we don't want to be prisoner of the moment.
Mike, this is what I mean about being objective though. Some MCs are so great that when they're great and they make classic shit, you can almost immediately tell. Jay-Z is in that category as well. Nas is
Yeah.
in that category. Rakim is in that category. And so that's what I meant about being objective, is because it's like everything that you're saying is true, but it doesn't apply to some guys when they make their great shit, you know, immediately. And Nas is one of those guys. And so I'm telling you, it's like we can wait to see if it stays. I'm telling you, Magic's about to stay.
Darnell Lee says the key will Magic be in the yearbook for 2021 or 2022? Well, we have to put it in 2021. So, I mean, I agree with you, Coop. I mean, we know that this isn't really a prisoner of the moment thing, but you know, we kind of got to be consistent. I'm not opposed to it being in consideration for album of the year. This is probably going to be our final
Mike,
show of 2021, right? Because we're not going on before 2022, so we need to go ahead and decide this now. If honestly, man,
if we're
if
if we're
this is
doing that, Mike,
included, to me, this
if
is
it's
album of
included,
the
it's the
year.
album of the year, right, Mike? If it's included, it's the album of
That's
the
what
year.
I said.
Album of the year got dropped the last week of the year. Yep.
Yeah, if Magic is included, which I think we should, Magic is album of the year. And it's crazy to
That's
say
the
that
album of the
because
year.
we were talking about KD2 being the runaway album of the year the whole year, pretty much.
Mike, so do you understand that I'm about to? First of all, I got to redo the list. This is awesome. Because actually, Mike, you know what's funny? You and I have been so busy separately doing separate things, and this is what I meant about being objective. I have notes for my hip hop yearbook about how I was telling you. I was like, I think we're gonna have to slide everybody on 12/10 the next year. But here's what I'll tell you, Mike. The top of the album of the year is gonna read Nas, Magic 1, Nas, King's Disease number 2. Which Mike is gonna make him artist of the year.
Yeah.
It's gonna make him MC of the year. It's gonna make him lyricist of the year. That means he's sweeping everything, and that's what I meant about
He
being
deserves
objective. Because if we put Magic in, oh, he just took everything from everybody, Mike.
Oh, yeah. And Hit Boy,
So ain't
producer of
nobody
the
getting
year.
nothing. So Mike, ain't nobody getting nothing, and I don't want to hear it. And it's actually justified if we count it in that framework.
Well, speaking of that team, let me pull up this graphic about Hit Boy, producer of the year. Rap Caviar gave him producer of the year. We probably will as well. They said most streamed of
We
2021
count Magic,
song.
Mike.
So he got Don Toliver, What You Need, Nas,
Yeah.
Rare. Oh, okay. Artists that he collaborated with in 2021. He got Nas, Big Sean, Don Kennedy. I'm sorry, Dom Kennedy. What's wrong with me? Corday. You got Russ, Benny the Butcher, G Herbo, Sada Baby, Nardo Wack, Babyface Ray, and Don Toliver. Hit Boy had a really good year. Excuse me.
Yeah, Mike. He produced the best 2 rap albums this year.
Yeah. And like I said, what he got out of
It's actually,
Nas,
Mike, and when you think about that, that's actually like, I think the only person that's ever like done that or come close to it is probably the RZA in '95. If you felt like Liquid Swords and Purple Tape were the best 2 rap albums that year, or
we could
Mike,
probably dig again. I think '05 when Kanye did Late Registration and B.
no, those weren't the best 2 albums that year. B was not maybe
Late Registration
no,
wasn't. I like Late Registration more than the documentary. People love the documentary, but yeah,
Mike, I was in Cali. I can't let it go. I mean, it's just one of those things that stays with you.
it was a moment.